Okay, hi. This should be a pretty quick lesson today. I'm going to review how we find 7th and 6th chords. And just a reminder, when you've got a major scale, starting from the bottom note, the root note, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. They're the 8 notes that make up your major scale. So you number them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is the octave. There's the 1 to the 8 of the same note. And those numbers, that's what it means whenever you see a 7th or a 6th or even a 9th or whatever, you'd go, you're counting those numbers. So like a minor chord is a flattened third, or a sus 4 chord has the 4 note in it. So we're numbering all the notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 8. This one's 7. That gives you a major 7th chord. And the chord we always call a 7th is actually a dominant 7th, is its proper name, and that means it's a flattened 7th. So going one more down, and that's a pretty common chord from the major to a 7th. And we've already looked at this, and this is a C-shaped bar position. There's your major, there's your 7th. And a 6th would then be one flat again from that note, which is really easy on a ukulele. You're just barring the whole fret. So major, 7th and 6th. So let's have a look in other positions. We've got an F position. If you're going to play an F 7th, this is the note that you want. Your little finger is going to drop in on the 4th fret on the 3rd string. So there's your F shape, and there's your 7th. So that's quite a handy chord to know when you want to play a 7th chord. And so logically it will then make sense that if this note is flattened again, it's going to be a 6th. But if you look at it, what are we actually holding now? It's a D minor shape bar chord, which is the same as it's the relative minor. There's your major, there's your relative minor, and it's so close to being a 6th. There's your 7th, there's your 6th. I have a feeling it's not quite the same, but it is really close. And to show you again on the C-shaped chord, there's your C to a C6, but you could also play C to the relative minor, and they kind of sound the same. If you actually played all the notes, you'd notice there is one note slightly different. But as I said, they are so close that you could virtually, if you see a 6th, you could also play the relative minor, and it's pretty well going to be the same chord. So F shape, there's your 7th on this string. Seventh and 6th, or 7th and minor shape. So then if you play an A-shaped chord, you can also find your 7th up here on the 4th fret, but the next string up. Which is kind of handy, which means you can also flatten that. And look what now we've got. It's always a cramped one to hold, this one. But that is the F sharp minor shape, which is the relative minor of the A shape chord. And if you sharpen that note from the 6th, you get a 7th. And we already know though that when you're playing an A shape chord, you can find your 7th just by letting this one go. But there's two ways of playing it. There's your A, You can get the 7th by lifting off your 3rd finger, or you can get the 7th by placing your little finger. Because this note is the same as that note, which you're letting go to find. So there you go, pretty quick lesson. 7ths and 6ths in a C shape, in an F shape, using your little finger on the 3rd string, and in an A shape, using your little finger on the 2nd string. So yeah, lots of rock and roll riffs have that C to 7th formation. Major, 6th, 7th, 6th. And now you can find it in all 3 of the major bar positions.